I was very excited that we're starting a new series in May. It was just exciting. When Spirit gave it to me, it's like, that's going to be so much fun. I can't wait to see what we do with this. So this is about how we can truly begin to empower ourselves to learn to manifest in a different way. Because we know we can manifest, yes? Yes. And our mantra is, I'm God's child, correct? Mm-hmm. And we every Sunday we know that, don't you? You know you're God's child. But Wednesday, do you know you're God's child? So what they wanted us to start with was the idea of self-judgment. And I don't even know that we're always aware of when we are judging ourselves. We don't understand why we judge ourselves. We kind of have judged ourselves for so long that it's like our playground. Oh no, that's familiar. No, that's how I do things. Have you ever said anything about yourself that slightly negates you and someone goes, don't say that, and you go, but that's how it is. I say that all the time. Don't worry about it. And the other person's going, okay. And because they realize that what those words do, the impact of those words, and you're going, no, this is my playground. This is where I live. Do you see? So a lot of times we're totally unaware of those moments when we're judging ourselves. Judgment is really a decision that we make by discerning or evaluating. That's kind of the definition of it. So we decide whether something is right, wrong, or complicated. And when it's complicated, we're just going to sit in it and be stuck. Yeah? So that's basically the energy of judgment. We actually make a decision about something, and then we hold it in our energy field. Judgment creates a form through which we can express. It is the energy that your spirit moves through. You can imagine the Japanese lantern with the holes in it. Your spirit flows through that. You can imagine the playground that you carry around with you. Your playground looks different than other people's playgrounds. But your spirit flows through that dynamic. So you look different than other people. And it becomes a part of the personality construct, and your personality is changeable. The eternal spirit within you is that which is expressing, but your personality is always changeable. All right. What happens is we define ourselves by the outer reaction to us, and this is what creates the judgment, and I'll go into that in just a second. Can I have the big book, please? Thank you, Dominic. You guys know Jesus said, judge not. Mm-hmm. All right, Mark, this is 4:24. So listen to how this comes down. He said to them, take heed what you hear. With what measure you measure, it will be measured to you again, and it will increase, especially to them who hear. Take heed to how you incorporate and integrate knowledge into you, for it will be measured unto you. And then he says this, to him who has will be given, and from him who has not, even that which he has will be taken away. And as a child you go, what does that mean? But when you take the two together, and they are together in the text, judge not by what you measure within you, it will be measured unto you, and to him who has, he will receive, and to him who has not, even that which he has will be taken away. It's really an inner look at our consciousness. If we have the consciousness and the inner thoughts of prosperity, we will prosper. If we have the inner thoughts of lack, we will lack. And this is what he's saying, it's all internal. How you judge anything is how you will be inside. Does everybody see that very clearly? How I judge anything is how I am going to be inside. So, I'll give you an example of judgment. Okay? All right, you're with somebody. And you do not do this, they see someone wearing a particular hat in a certain way. And they get all over that hat. Oh, that person's blah, 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 blah. And you're thinking, okay. And that person is criticizing that hat. And you're wondering why the person is even caring about the hat. The person who criticizes the hat has a belief about a hat within them. good, bad, or indifferent, that they actually will apply to themselves. They have a hat issue. And we can see it clearly because we don't have a hat issue. And when they start going on about the hat, we just go, okay, moving on. Because we're not attached to hats. When you attach to something, you judge it. When you judge it, you attach to it. So we can clearly see these other people with their problems, right? Right. When we judge, we attach. When we attach, we repeat. When we repeat, it becomes our reality. Everything that you judge outwardly somehow is living inside of you. And it may not be the exact same thing. It may be something interestingly different, but it's about that aspect. I used to have associates way back in the day when I was first learning about what within me is without me. When I'm attached to something, there's a problem within me. That was an interesting journey. But I had this particular friend who judged this woman who gave her services to the church I was attending for free because her husband was wealthy. And I was like, I'm impressed with this woman. I mean, she manifested infinite wealth with her husband and she can give her time and talents free. I'm liking this. But there was judgment against her. Do you see? And it was because that person had an issue about prosperity. It wasn't they were upset that they wanted to work in the bookstore too. It was they wanted to be free to do what they wanted to do as well. Do you see? And because they denied themselves that, they judged people who gave that to themselves. Everybody with me? Okay. All right. So it comes in interesting ways, and it can be complicated. But what we need to do is start becoming aware of what do we speak less than positively about. What do we speak? And what are we attached to? What do we have opinions of? All right. When I was meditating, and I always ask Spirit to work through me, show me more, teach me, the energy and the words came, state of being. Teach them about a state of being. Okay, every one of you knows you're a child of God, yes? Mm-hmm. All right. I want you to, for a moment, shut your eyes and just feel your energy field. No deep meditation, just shut your eyes and feel your energy field. You got it? Mm-hmm. Now feel I am child of God. And does your focus go into your heart and a central core? Yeah. Now, stay there and call forth all the judgments you hold in your energy field. Stay in your center and feel your field. Is it getting dense around you? Mm-hmm. Can anybody feel energy coming around you? Mm-hmm. Now realize, how does this inner core vibrate through that? Do you see? All right, everybody, open your eyes. Who you are, your state of being, seeks to express. The energy that you felt or imagined or saw, however you perceive, those judgments actually sculpt you and your reality. They actually sculpt the within and the without, because it hinders you from being and expressing what you want, and the reality begins to express back to you this energy. State of being, if even during the month of May, we can keep that as our central goal, the state of being, we want to be able to feel that wherever we are. Okay. Judgment always stands between us and the world. So let's think about children. Children are so wonderful, aren't they? You know those little babies, and they love life, and they just explore, and when they do anything, we go, oh, such a good job. And we're so excited when they punch the red, or they do something on the little machines, or they eat with their fingers. I mean, everything is a miracle, isn't it? It's just a miracle. And they laugh, and they respond to us, and they're a treasure, and they know it. We love them so much. And then something happens. They're no longer just allowed to express. We now want them to apply what they've been learning. Now you have to apply it. They're going, I was just responding and enjoying. You want me to use this? Yes, and you must use it in the way that I deem you to use it. You must now do what I want you to do. and they say, well, wait a minute. You used to applaud and laugh at me. I still will if you do what I want you to do. And so they go, okay, I'll try. And they start responding to you, and then you give them that look. Not quite good enough. Try it. And eventually they'll get the look of, good job, and they realize they have had the effort to get that good job. It used to come freely to them, but now they're efforting. Now they begin to define themselves by how the outer world reacts to them. Do you hear? And what is a judgment? It's a decision about something that we begin to apply to ourselves. So little children, by the time they're 5, they know about themselves. They know if they're good enough. They know if they're fast enough. Do you know what I'm saying? They already have a whole little list of things that will work and things that won't work to get them that applause and that love that they need. So, take a breath. The little kid, those beautiful little children. Have you ever seen one of them starting to learn, little toddlers, and they start pulling themselves up on furniture? And if a chair moves when they pull themselves up on it, they don't get mad at the chair. They don't say, I shall never sit on a chair. They eventually go to another chair. They don't call themselves a failure. They keep looking for what works for them. They are allowing themselves to flow freely without judging themselves as having failed. Think about when you learn to ride a bike. You don't judge yourself as having failed. You may be slower at it. Think about when you learn to drive a car. You will drive a car whether you want to or not. By golly, you're going to learn. That's the attitude you have because you're a teenager. Oh, I'm going to learn. You know, you don't call yourself a failure. You say, I'm learning. Because it's freedom. The baby energy still peeks through sometimes in us. But for the most part, the judgment energy is what we hold against ourselves. All right. Judgment encases your good intentions. Everything you do is for good intentions, is it not? Of course it is. You're putting good intentions out in the world. And when you put beautiful good intentions out in the world as an adult, here we are in the world doing good. And what comes back to us isn't what we expected. People are looking at us cross-eyed. People are not wanting to be our friend anymore. And we go, what did I do? What have I done? I did something wrong. I need to correct what's wrong with me? Okay. What's wrong with them? Okay. You know, and we go into this critical analysis because the effects, the outer world did not reflect what we wanted it to. And then it becomes judgment against self. Sometimes we'll do something in our beautiful innocence. We're so excited and so happy, and nothing comes back. Like, what? Nothing came back. I must have done something wrong. I really intended to do good, but it hasn't come back yet, and now I'm worried. It's never going to come back. I'm not worthy. It comes back for other people. It just doesn't come back. Do you see? All of these ideas are based on how we are responding to the outer energy that's coming to us. You know, Jesus said, cast your bread on the waters and it will return to you in many days. He didn't say cast your bread on the waters and stand there and wait for it. It'll find you. The energy will find you. So much of what we do, we judge in that moment. Okay. Judging self, we judge our actions, our abilities, and it is always by standards that are outside of self. Yes? Because my great intentions, they're fabulous. They were fabulous. But, it did not have the effect in you that I wanted. Therefore, what have I done and what could I do differently? Am I the only one that does this? Okay. I think sometimes it's easier to recognize the harsh judgments about others in particular. But it's easier to recognize when we are in harsh judgment because we get really tense, don't we? Those people. And our whole energy gets intense, you know? But when we're judging self and we go, oh, me, we don't even notice it. We don't even notice that we've just now riled up our own energy and blocked our energy as well. It's just so familiar. Judge not, lest ye be judged. It's in Matthew, Mark, and Luke. In Matthew it says, don't judge your brothers. Who are you to point to the timber in his eye when you've got one in your own? And what he's saying is, if you're going to look at something in your brother's eye, if that's even in your consciousness to recognize that, it's an issue you have. You got the hat issue going on. Something's wrong with you about something in your eye. Nobody else will notice it otherwise. It's in you. All right. The standards you hold against others are the standards you hold inside you. It doesn't even have to come back to you. The law of cause and effect is return to you. The law of attraction is going to return to you. It's already in you. It's there. You already have within you some perception. We criticize what bothers us. What bothers us, there's a judgment at the core. Okay? You attach, you repeat, becomes your reality. You attach, you repeat, becomes your reality. All right. Everything that I've been talking about is all about how we are reacting to an outer experience. When we react to the outer experience, there is actually a transfer of power. I, as a child, free-flowing in the universe, pulling myself up, making you laugh, dancing for you, I'm choosing when I do that and when I don't. You cannot make a baby. You know you cannot make a baby laugh. It doesn't want to. It's not going to. So the power is in me. I'm the baby expressing. The minute I judge myself because of your reaction or the world's reaction or this or that, where has the power gone? It's outside of me, and I am no longer the chooser. I have now given this outer idea power to tell me who I am. And it's challenging, isn't it? And all of us, I want you to think with me about judgment, self-judgment. We're talking about judging self here. And you've all understood everything I've said so far, because we all do it. Now, you may not do the Cindy thing, but I'll tell you the Cindy thing. There's another aspect of self-judgment, which is outpictured when I have an overwhelming need to protect someone. Oh, those poor people. I need to make it right for them. How do I feel when a client leaves my counseling office mad? Brr. Am I doing the dance of joy? I got them stirred up. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. And I should be. I should be doing the dance of joy because they have been moved. But I go, what have I done? I need to protect them from themselves. I might have said something too harsh. Maybe I took them to too deep of a reality. Blah, blah, blah. What am I doing? I'm holding a judgment against myself. I'm holding a judgment against them. They are not strong enough. They're not strong enough to walk out on their own 2 feet and figure out what they're doing. They sat in the chair across from me. They could have left. They made an appointment. They drove here. They sat there. We had a good session, I thought. Do you see? When you feel the need to protect, when you feel the need that someone else is not capable, when you feel the need that you have to do everything for someone else, that they're not strong enough to do it, there's a judgment there about them. And it's one of those sly little things. Because it's not like, oh, judge them bad. It's like, oh, poor baby judgment. Or poor baby is just as negative as knock them down judgment. Because we are disempowering them as spirits. And what is underlying the oh, poor baby? I'm better. No, it's really not I'm better. In me, anyway. In me, when I judge somebody as needing protection, I am feeling like I am not strong enough. They're not strong enough. I may not be strong enough for the task. Do you see? That's just how Cindy interprets it. But you can bet put money, take it to the bank. It's judgment. And when you're attached, you're going to repeat it. And that's going to become your reality. Judgment. How we define ourselves. So I'm going to share just a really quick story with you. This is an interesting story for me. Yeah. I was 5 years old in Colorado. We lived in Thornton, right outside Denver. And I went to kindergarten. And I'm a stay-at-home mom. This is ancient history. Me and my brother and sister were all 1, 2, 3 years. We're just all together. So I lived in a little commune energy. Nobody else ever came. I'm going to kindergarten for the first time. I'm walking to school. I don't know anything. I'm doing the best I can with this new exposure. I come home one day and I say, Mom, what's a bad word? She goes, where did you hear that bad word? And I said, well, some of the kids said it about a little girl in my class. And I went, and she goes, oh, that's so unkind. They should never say that. That's not nice. And it's like, I knew it wasn't nice. I could see that when they said it, I could see the unkindness. No, that's not nice. You should never say that. Never say that word. And you go to school tomorrow and you play with her. And I went, my mom did not know. I was the shyest child in the school. And what she didn't know also was this. Everybody played with that little girl. She had friends. People talked to her. Nobody talked to me. Nobody played with me. And I could do the math. She was always picked before me. I was the last one picked. So if she's not so good, woo, I'm the last man on the totem pole. And I learned that very young. And I never would have remembered the incident if my mother had not said, go play with her, and it shocked me to realize I didn't have anything to do with it. I was terrified. The other incident, I had no basis for. All the words and what was said, there was no file in my mind. I'd never heard it before. I didn't hear it again. I had not been exposed to that. It just was out of my brain. But that I would have to step up and interact with people, I was terrified. Terrified, because I knew I was not of the same caliber. At 5 years old, I knew I was not of the same caliber of all those people that were there in that little class. And so, that was a certainty. It was a for sure certainty, and it was demonstrated. So the next year we moved to another state, went to another school. Yep. Moved to another state, went to another school. Yep. Moved to another state, went to another school. Yep. Moved to another state, went to another school. Played out completely. It was working like a charm. About 4th grade, I said, this has got to stop. This has got to stop. I've got to find a way to not be inferior. I've got to find a way to do that. And I started creeping my way around. 5th grade, another school. I'm taking it in my own hands. By this point, I developed the idea that I'm fabulous. They're going to figure it out sooner or later. So I might as well just pick somebody and be their friend. And that's what I did from that point forward. And it was, again, every year another school. I was only going to be there a year anyway. What did it matter? So I would, every school, just find somebody, I like you. I'm going to go talk to you. You're going to love me. Of course, who wouldn't love me? You're going to be my fast friend for a year, and then I'll go to the next state. And that's exactly what happened. But it took me consciously realizing, even though they could not see my value, somewhere between kindergarten and 4th grade I found some value. And then the fabulousness took over. And it did. And so I was able to shift that belief. My son was raised in fabulousness. There he was. He was raised in a church where everybody was your friend. You hug everybody. Everybody loves you. What? You're safe. I mean, as a little tyke, he was around, and there was no strangers. He did not know a stranger. And when he went to high school, he would notice when a new kid came to school, because he went to the same school, I made sure, from kindergarten through high school, he went with the same kids, because he was not going to be transferred around like we were. But if he saw a stranger eating by themselves in the lunchroom, he would go get them and bring them to his table, because he did not know a stranger. But do you understand what I'm saying about those little things, how we react to the outer, they actually have to be rewritten? That's what I'm telling you. They have to be rewritten. So if we can become mindful of, if I am feeling like I need to protect somebody, I've got a judgment. If I am feeling like I don't like something, I have a judgment. In those moments, if you can come back to the state of being, come back to that central core of light within you, I am God's child. And we are all radiant. We've all had interesting paths. I would not have walked yours, and you certainly wouldn't have walked mine. Because mine served me, yours served you. But it doesn't negate the fact that we have a radiance within us, and we are wonderful. We are wonderful. If we can be as diligent and aware of our energy in those sweet moments when we slip into judgment, and realize that is all about me. It's about me. They're just my teacher. It's about me. What's wrong with me in this moment that I need to go heal? Something's crying. I need to go find something in me. You can do it. You can directly address it. You can go figure it out, or you can simply call forth the divine light and decide whatever I have held as true for me, I now let go. I erase it, and I will do it differently. I'm just going to do it differently. I'm just going to be bold. I'm just going to be bold. I'm going to change my life. Be bold. And change that one little thing. It sounds like a lot, but it really is not. Because once you do it 2 to 3 times, it will become automatic and almost subconscious. That you'll be shifting. Are you ready to speak positively about yourself? Are you ready to stop judging yourself? Are you ready to be fabulous? Yes. All right, let's go ahead. Take a breath and just feel that beautiful column of light coming over you. God, we ask that your love enfold each one. I ask that the preciousness of their spirit begin to quicken. And I would invite you once again to let your focus go to your heart. Breathe, let your body relax, and go to your heart. My central core of being. Feel the energy. I am child of God. I may not be recognized by the world. I am not recognized by myself, perhaps. But I am a child of God. In this moment, when you feel the sweetness of your own spirit, you can just decide if you want to take a step toward healing the restrictions you have placed on yourself. And if you feel that you want to take a step forward, feel the presence of Jesus Christ standing by you. And look into his eyes. And realize there's only love. You are eternal, the precious, precious child of God. And you are loved. Take a breath and send your love as a beautiful blanket through all the thoughts of self-judgment. And send another wave through. I love myself. No matter what I have held against me in the past, I release it and I love myself. And as the love begins to move from your energy field, feel a detachment beginning to occur to the thoughts. I am detaching from the thoughts. Feel like you have more space to breathe. And feel that beautiful light amping up within you. Take a breath and send it out to your field. I am child of God. I am child of God. And I am fabulous. Can you feel yourself expanding? Father, Mother God, I ask that each one feel their essence of beauty, their essence of truth. And from this energy, guide them in creating a world of beauty for themselves. Just say yes to that beautiful creative force moving through you. And feel that love of God guiding. Oh, we love you, God. Take a breath and feel yourself coming back into your body. Feel the chair. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Could you feel the peace? Say, yay, God.
Yay, God.